The information provided on this show does not, and is not intended to, constitute legal advice. Instead, all information on this show is for general informational purposes only. The information provided is not a substitute for legal advice, and we recommend viewers consult an attorney for specific legal matters.
Welcome back to Condo Craze HOAs here on our YouTube channel, Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Running a little late today, but we have a brand new set, which is phenomenal. We have a guest from Best Roofing, Anthony Fonseca. He is an attorney and he is the Chief Administrative Officer. And of course, we have the counselor du jour.
Attorneys on the same set. Who could stand it? My God.
Exactly.
Right.
No, it's good. I'm glad. And so Eric, of course, is board certified in community association law, and he's here to help you with anything condo and HOA related. And of course, Anthony's here to help you with your roof in case Gabrielle fires up out there in the Atlantic. The number to call, 717-GLAZER-8. That's 717-452-9378. And also ask a question in the chat.
I tell you, after a crazy, crazy week in this country, let's take an hour out, see if we can have some fun, see if we can answer some questions, see if we can take our minds off of everything that happened. And we, like Karen said, we have a great guest with us today, Anthony Fonseca from Best Roofing, and he's going to walk us through a lot of important issues, like you said, Karen, especially with a potential storm forming in the Atlantic. And of course, today's important topic is going to be about your roof. And again, to help us with that, it's Anthony Fonseca, and your general counsel and chief administrative officer at Best Roofing. Thank you so much for joining us today. Honor and pleasure to have you, Anthony.
Thank you
And
both
our
for having
diamond
me.
sponsor.
And our diamond sponsor.
Which is like the best of the best
right.
of the best.
You know how long it's been, by the way? I mean, Best Roofing has been
15
with
years?
us. Yeah, something like that. So thank you. We appreciate having you very, very much. So does everybody watching at home, believe me. Okay?
Thank you both for having me.
You know, again, we really couldn't have a better guest to help discuss your roof. You talk about somebody who's qualified, whether it's for your condominium building or for your private home. So I want to get started with discussing some of the latest roof laws. Big changes this year. You know, roof replacement is now really a legal and a financial responsibility under reserve laws. Now it's like required. You have to reserve for your roof and put it in your structural integrity reserve study if your roof is 3 stories or taller, and you can't waive it. Now, I'm guessing you've been involved in situations where, yeah, it's time for a condo to put on roofs, but the money ain't there. So how do you feel about the new laws that require associations to put away money in their reserve accounts?
So let me start by saying that I think it's necessary because it's rooted in safety.
Right.
Sure.
So because it's rooted in safety, I do believe that's something we need to have. I do think that the impact and the fallout from the compliance standpoint has been a little heavy-handed, just because there hasn't been enough forewarning and preparedness with the associations, right? So I always say you need a plan for success.
Yeah, sure.
So with the enactment of this legislation and requirements, were we planning for success? Because in our instance, a condo roof replacement could be $500,000 to a couple $1 million.
Yeah.
You take that and you add on all the other Sears
Right.
requirements.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, your loan for $1 million turns into a balloon of $25 million.
Yeah.
Now that's something that these associations just cannot stomach.
Yep.
And when you start thinking about going to access funds, whether it's loans and with the interest rates where they are right now, it's become a real burden.
I know, and I don't doubt that. I get it, but
what's the priority?
Yeah, what's the priority? Is safety the priority? You know, you can't. I guess the legislature looked at this and said, "There's not going to be another Champlain Towers on my watch. We can't have that." You know, I've represented associations where reserves have been waived not just for years on end, but for decades on end. So when it comes time to put on a roof, there's nothing there. When it comes time to do plumbing, major plumbing job, there's nothing there, you know, etc. And if they would have just put away $50 a month, you know, towards the roof, we wouldn't have had, I tell you this, we wouldn't have had a disaster. I always said this. We can debate all day long about why the Champlain Towers fell. Of course, it came out this week, as a matter of fact. What a week! There was the pool deck, the parking structure. Um, was it also the building next door? You can debate it all day long, but I always came down to it fell because it was all about money. There wasn't enough money to fix it at the time. And if there was enough money to fix it, it would have been fixed. And 98 people would have died. So I guess I understand it's heavy hitting. But there's another part of me that says we can't let this happen again. So I, for one, I'm happy that we're making people put away money for a roof. I think it's pretty, I think it's important. But I do understand that when you throw everything together, wow, I get it, totally get it. Let me ask you something that's just want to switch to HOAs for a second because there's still this ongoing fight. There's this new law in an HOA that says if you put on an ASCE certified roof, right, that the HOA can't stop you from doing it, right? Yet we're still hearing from HOAs that no, we're not going to let a person put on a metal roof. Is a metal roof ASCE certified?
So I think we all know that there's a real push to have metal roofing in the
Right.
industry, and that's really rooted in the fact that it's more structurally sound because of the fasteners, and and everyone knows it's just long lasting.
So it's a better product. Do you agree?
I would say there's definitely a preference in it, and if you talk to our operations department, I can
Right.
talk to our VP of operations who can
Right.
tell me, look, it's all about how you install the products.
Right.
Miami-Dade NOAs, they have the most strictest compliance requirements in the country.
Right.
So, and a lot of the roofing systems we install have to comply with those wind up lift
Right.
tests.
Right.
So whether it's metal, whether it's shingle, whether it's tile,
Right.
we feel strongly in the application of all of them. But metal is designed, and it's one of those products that does inherently last
Right.
longer.
What do you have on your roof?
Clay tile.
I got barrel tile. All right. Does excuse me, Best Roofing? I understand now does metal roofing as well.
Yes.
That's great. Okay. Yeah, because my roof is like really old. I'm waiting any minute
Okay.
to get that letter from the insurance company.
You kind
So
of patch it up here and there, though.
yeah, who do you think's been doing the work? Right. Right. Of course. But eventually, if I'm
Right.
gonna go, I'm gonna go with a metal roof. I think
You are.
yeah, I think that's the way to go. So I'll never have to do it again, I guess. But here we are. We're in the heart of the hurricane season, and is there anything a condo or even a homeowner in a private home should be doing now, right now, before a storm hits, to make sure that when it does, maybe it won't cause an incredible amount of structural damage, but something a little less than that? What can they do now?
So the number one thing you can do is call a roofing contractor who specializes in looking for potential risks and mitigate those risks.
Right.
But no, it really comes down to this. What's one of the number one things that storms can do? It has projectiles. So look around your house for things that could potentially go on your roof and cause penetrations, whether it's nearby trees that have dead limbs
Right.
that maybe you want to look towards. But also look at your roofing system and how is it ridding water. So the roofing system is designed to move water off of your roof.
Right.
So if your drains are clogged with roof debris or your
Yeah.
gutters, those are critical points that you need to address before.
Right. So as a matter of fact, I was going to talk about this a little later in the show, but Best Roofing has programs where you come out once a year. You guys come out to my house once a year. Every year, something bad can happen to that roof within 1 year, whether it's a flashing problem, whatever. They come out, they fix the flashing, under a roof program that they have, roof warranty or whatever program that it's called. And they come out every year, and anything that needs to be fixed, it's fixed.
Nice.
Right. And that way, a small flashing problem doesn't become a major problem after a storm
It's like
hits.
prophylactic. I
Yeah,
mean, let's take care of it before you have a problem.
And I will tell you, even after my roof, you guys came out before Wilma. True story. I'm not, believe me, you guys fixed some flashing issue before Wilma hit. No damage to my roof.
Perfect.
You got my roof with classes. If you never took one of their roofing classes, I'm telling you, take one of their roofing classes. But is there such a thing as, okay, I need a new roof? I know we spoke about metal roofs, but the best to put on, let's say, a commercial building, or the best to put on a private home? Is there such a thing as that? Or does every property basically might be a little different than the other?
No, you're right. Every building has its own story. Every building has its own unique characteristics. So whether you're close to the beach,
Right.
if you're flat roof, if you have a lot of penetration points, so if you're a high-rise condo and you have a lot of like AC condensers on your roof,
Yep.
or if you have a residential roof and it's pitched a certain way. There's certain things that we look for. There is no true one product. I can say Best Roofing has the privilege of working with the top premium manufacturers in the country
Right.
because of the quality standards that
Right.
we perform and install our products. So whether it's a GAF, whether it's Suprema, whether it's JM,
Right.
those are some trusted systems.
Sure.
And I can tell you that what's equally important is not the roofing system you put on, but who installs the
Who's
system.
Ooh,
right, right.
okay.
If you have a great product, if it's installed wrong, you got a crappy product.
Exactly.
Right now, generally speaking, when a condo, for example, puts in a new roof, they get a manufacturer's warranty as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the manufacturer gives them a warranty, and is there a separate warranty from Best Roofing, for example?
Yes.
Right, so they get two. So they should always be looking out to make sure that in that contract or whatever, they're covered with two different types of warranties. So if
Exactly.
something goes wrong, two different people that they can turn to.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, so let's say that happens. Let's say the worst happens. The roof is damaged mid-season. Here we go. What's the first thing that the association should do, for example?
So hurricane passes through, you have some damage, maybe an active leak. Number one thing that you wish you would have done is maybe had a roofer that gave you a workmanship warranty or a
Right.
maintenance plan that they have the capacity. So one thing about Best Roofing, we have the largest service fleet in South Florida. And what does that mean? We have 30 box trucks of two-man crews that have the ability to go to your
Nice.
house or your
Yeah.
building and address an
Right.
active leak.
There's no question everybody watching the show right now has seen a Best Roofing truck at
Right.
one time or another. You guys are all over the place. It's incredible.
And the reason that's important is when you have a leak,
Right.
that's a need.
Oh
You
yeah.
don't, that's not a want. You
No.
have, it's a
No.
leak over your kid's bed, or you own a business and it's a leak that's over maybe, produce section at a Publix.
Right.
You don't
need
say
that
get a
fixed now.
blue
Yeah.
tarp. We'll
No,
be
we're-
there.
No.
No, we're sitting in a commercial building right now. Where we have a law firm, and a couple of weeks ago there is a leak, and of course, where does the leak happen? Right over my head at my desk. Literally, my desk is soaked. My computer is
Oh
soaked.
no.
I called you guys. You came out like Johnny on the spot. Figured out where it was coming from. No more leak.
Oh,
Yeah, so thank God. Otherwise, I would have had a pool in my personal office. So I thank
or the
you
whole thing could
guys.
have collapsed on your
Yeah,
head.
yeah, exactly right. Which they saved it from. So let's do this. Let's take our first break of the hour. Got roof calls. Now is the time. There's so many questions that I assume you have. So many things that you need to know. Give us a call in the studio, 717-452-9378. Again, 717-452-9378. Or drop us a question or comment in the chat box on YouTube. We'll be back right after this.
There are very large management companies and there are very small management companies. And I think Affinity sits somewhere in the middle of that, where they are big enough to provide you with all of the back of the house services, the accounting, the infrastructure, the support systems, but small enough to be high touch.
We believe at Affinity that we do the 9 to 5 so that you don't have to do that.
Welcome back to Condo Craze and HOAs. And we have our guest today from Best Roofing, our diamond sponsor, Anthony da Fonseca. And we're talking about roofs.
let's let's see if our callers want to talk about roofs. Who do we got, Ron?
Yeah, our first caller is Joe.
Morning, Joe. How are you?
Morning, guys. How are you?
Okay. How can we help?
Doesn't have anything to do with the roof, but what it does, our association used to collect a deposit for key money. That was dropped years ago, Eric, and we now sell the keys. I sent out an email and posted signs all over the building that anyone that wanted their deposit money back to bring the receipt to the office. We still have about $18,000 left that I want to move to the operating account. We
Okay.
did everything in our power to make sure that everyone had a chance to get their deposit money back. Can I move that to the operating account now?
I think actually it has to go directly to Best Roofing under the law, right? I think so. I think that's what it says in the statute, right? From what I remember.
I like that.
Right. Listen, all you could do is give people a chance, right? You've gone over and
I did.
above everything that you're supposed to do. So, I don't have any problems moving it to the operating account. But if someone comes forward within
Okay.
the statute of limitations and wants their money, then they get their money. Okay?
Yes.
Thanks, Joe.
Super, man. Thank
You
you.
got it. Be
I
well.
appreciate it, bud.
Thank you. Who else we got, Rob?
Our next caller is John from Boynton Beach.
How are you, John?
John from Danger Beach. Good morning, all.
Danger Beach. Hey, John,
Great
how
show,
are
by
you?
the way, and although I don't have a question about roofing, I'm taking copious notes. Eric, I want to go back to something that came up in, I believe it was last week's show. And I think almost everybody's doing this wrong. We have a meeting, and then the meeting is stopped. And then there's this thing called open session, also known as,
Yeah, good and welfare.
whatever. And I think, and give me some direction on this, because I think you were saying that, no, that's really a continuing official record of the meeting,
Yes,
and that meeting should not be closed until that open session is ended.
that's exactly right. That's exactly
Okay,
right. A lot of
also-
boards are doing it wrong.
Go ahead.
They close the meeting and then say, okay, who wants to talk? No, that good and welfare session has to happen while the meeting is going on. It's part of the meeting itself. Okay?
Okay, also, the way they're doing it, if they close the meeting, they open the good, and wouldn't they also be violating the sunshine law, so to speak? Because in effect, all the board members are still there,
Yes.
and they've effectively opened a new meeting without giving proper notice.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually not a meeting anymore, right? You're right. It's actually not a meeting anymore. Yet the board would be there all together. So technically, you're right. It's not the sunshine law under the Florida statutes. Sunshine law applies to sunshine in the government. So it's not the sunshine law, but it is a violation of 718 or 720, right? The notice requirements and the right for people to have the right to talk at meetings. It's got to be done during the meeting while it's open, John. Okay? We got to keep going. We
great.
got a guest, all right?
Thanks so much. Great
Thank-
show, guys.
Also,
Thank you, John. Appreciate it.
Armando's asking, what happens when a condo roof is also a private terrace for a penthouse?
That's interesting. Mind if I start?
Yes.
Okay, so roof is part of the private roof is part of the penthouse. Is that what he's saying?
Is also
Condo roof is also private terrace for
the
a penthouse. So they got, but the roof is actually covering two different things.
What if they have a pool?
Well, I would think at that situation, again, sometimes we're asked questions on the show that it's very, very difficult to answer unless we see the governing documents, right? So this roof might be covering two different portions. It might be a roof for everybody, right, for a portion of the building, and it might be a roof that covers a private terrace. And it's very difficult to answer that question without knowing what the governing documents say. But it seems to me that if it's covering the main portion of the roof and someone's terrace, my guess, my hunch would be is that it's probably on the condo itself to fix,
Yeah, and I think it's equally important to consider how it would impact the underlying warranty.
Yeah,
So if
Oh,
Best
it's
Roofing,
interesting.
if Best Roofing installed the condo association's prime roof, and then there's terraces that may be adjacent to, or at least contribute to maybe drainage flow,
Right.
for example, then or if it's tied in any existing way to the roofing system, it could void the existing warranty.
So if this guy who's sitting in the private house thinks, all right, I'm going to fix my portion of the roof, right? That's over my head, over my balcony. but it's part of the main roof, he could have just screwed up the warranty for the entire condominium.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Very good to know.
Or the terrace, he could put tile down on top of the roof, right? Because it's his terrace.
It all depends. I don't know what if
Yeah.
it's a burden system that you can put the tile down. Again, I don't know if it's something that was contemplated as part of how water flows off the roofing system.
But they
into
need to come to
scuppers.
you if they're
So,
gonna.
so that's important when we're talking about warranties. I've been through many a time, where a condo has a roof, right? The roof starts to go bad at one point or another. And instead of doing the right thing and calling back the company that installed it or calling back the manufacturer, they'll have their local handyman go up on the roof with some tar and some tar paper, whatever it may be, and they'll try to make a repair. Once that's done, is that possibility that now the warranty on the roof is done?
Yeah, the reality is a lot of these premium products that we're talking about, whether
Right.
it's GAF, JM, Suprema, they have certified applicators. Best Roofing is probably one of those certified applicators because of the quality and workmanship we stand by. Once a non-certified applicator
That's it.
goes on that roof system
Right.
and does any repair,
It's over.
it's going to void that warranty.
Okay. Well,
There's a strong likelihood it'll void that warranty.
pretty good to know. So you have an expensive roof that you put on, and that's it. You just lost your warranty.
Yes.
Oh, crazy, right? Crazy. To save a few bucks, right?
Just
To have
save a
your
few bucks.
handyman do it. All right, I want to talk about insurance because that's a hot topic in Florida, as you know. How does the roof condition, that your property is in right now, how does it impact premiums? How does it impact coverage? Like I said, two weeks ago in the building you're sitting in, I get a letter. It's amazing. I get a letter from my insurance company. The roof, I think, here is 16 years old. And I get a letter from the insurance company saying, oh, by the way, we've just canceled your replacement coverage on your roof. Just canceled it. Like no notice, no nothing. And now you have actual cash value coverage. So to explain the difference to our listeners, what that means is replacement coverage means if my roof blows away, the roof is replaced. It's just that. Actual cash value means that if your roof blows away, we'll give you what the value was of your roof at the time. So what the hell was the value of a 16-year-old roof? $8?
Right.
So they went from giving me replacement coverage to actual cash value coverage with zero notice.
And
No
over
notice.
16 years, you've paid
And
for
pay-
that.
Correct.
And you
right.
I'm sure you've paid more than the cash value
Right.
that they're going to give you.
So how important is it to know the condition of your roof in regards to insurance coverage?
It's everything in this
It's
market
everything,
right
yeah.
now. One of the things that Best Roofing relies on is we work closely with condominiums, obviously trying to get a renewal. There's a lot of pressure on them replacing a roof.
Yeah.
Because of Best Roofing service plan, we're able to enter into maintenance agreements where
Yes.
we give updated reports to the insurance company to let
Ah.
them know the grading of that roof system,
Okay.
Right.
what we're doing to keep the integrity or extend the lifespan
Right.
of that roof system. And then oftentimes we'll sign a contract, even though the association may not have funding for that project today.
Right.
That may be enough just to show the insurance carriers that they have taken this seriously. They have a
Right.
contract in place, and then Best Roofing is there on call in case of leaks.
So if somebody gets a letter like that and says, "Oh, we're concerned. Your roof is old. Is there anything Best Roofing can do?" Like I've heard of things called like a 4-point inspection. That hey, maybe we could flip the mind of the insurance carrier. Is that possible?
Yeah, one of the first things I would do is we would send out one of our forensic roof specialists out to the property. They would walk the roof. They would grade it based on like an A through F system grade, and then they would do a report of what it would take to repair that roof to get it into a passing structural
Okay.
standpoint or a passing grade, and then we would do those repairs.
So you're not necessarily finished, done, and it's over if you get that letter from the insurance company.
No, every building's different, every carrier is different, every insurance agent is different.
Right.
But the thing is, you want to have a roofing contractor who knows and who has dealt with those kind of conversations.
Okay.
I specifically have had those conversations.
Okay.
So you have to go through him
exactly.
and
yeah.
go to a new company, or are you going to stay with the old
I
company?
did. My insurance agent, thank God, was able to flip me to a new
Good.
company. But if I have a problem like that in the future,
Right.
it seems like I got to call them and say, okay, can you send over an expert who can look at the roof and tell the insurance company you're nuts. The roof is in great shape. In other words, like with my home, you put on a brand new flat roof on my property. You've made some repairs to the other part of the roof over the years. That I mean, the roof is in phenomenal shape. So just because portions of it are old, it doesn't necessarily mean that the roof is bad. You guys have done an amazing job with it. So if I got such a letter, which I'm anticipating on getting, call you and maybe you can convince the insurance company you guys are wrong. The roof is great.
That's right.
Okay, everybody heard that. If you get such a letter, they're the guys to call. Let's take our bottom of the hour break. Taking your calls again, 717-452-9378, 717-452-9378. We're here with Anthony DeFonseca from Best Roofing. Keep the roofing calls coming in, and we'll be back right after this.
In South Florida, the transition from bright sunshine to heavy rain and hurricanes can take a toll on your property's exterior and structural integrity. Cracked stucco, spalled concrete, they're more than eyesores. They can signal deeper issues. Now, with new Florida laws involving structural integrity requirements, we want to help you meet your milestone inspections and maintain the durability and beauty of your building. Since 2004, PD has been the trusted expert in structural concrete restoration, painting, and waterproofing for condominiums and commercial properties. Visit pd-concrete.com or call us today.
Life is full of steps. We learn to take small steps and big steps. We take steps toward adventure to discover what's next. At South State, helping you take each step is what inspires us to keep moving forward, so you can keep enjoying what's next in your life. This is banking at its best. This is banking forward.
We are DMI Paving and Seal Coating, Florida's parking lot experts. We specialize in asphalt paving and repair, including pothole repair, seal coating using JC7 or polytar, concrete curbs, ramps, and walkways, and striping and pavement marking, as well as ADA compliance. We service commercial properties, including homeowners associations, apartment communities, shopping malls, warehouses, stadiums and arenas, and more. Experience is worth more than anything in an industry like ours, and our staff has decades of it. We have specialized equipment for any job, regardless of size, saving you time and money. DMI has a reputable history. We have been in business since 1956. We serve the state of Florida from 6 locations. Let us bid on your next parking lot project. Visit us online at dmipavingandsealcoating.com.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Condo Craze and HOAs. Karen Curtis with 2 attorneys. We've got Anthony DeFonseca from Best Roofing, our diamond sponsor, and of course, Eric Glazer, board certified in Community Association Law. Taking your questions on roofs, 717-GLAZER-8. That's 717-452-9378. And this person wants to know, Anthony, can you cover the most important roof consideration for a flat condenser-filled roof on an 8-story condo? What's to install on a flat roof?
So a lot of considerations there. Obviously, when you say condenser filled, we think of a lot of penetration points. So opportunities for water to migrate into the system. Also think heavily trafficked. So those condensers are going to be routinely maintained by your AC, HVAC contractor. So what I would like to say is, what do we want to do with water? We want to get it off your building. So depending on your roof system or the way that the deck is built, we want a taper system, something that's going to move that water off of the building into your existing drainage and away from those penetration points.
Gotcha. Hey, we have an interesting story with Robert. Rob, I believe Best Roofing did some personal work in your building, Ocean 88, right?
They sure did.
All right. You got a video of it, right?
A beautiful building, a beautiful roof, excellent job. I think the biggest thing that I want to mention is what they did at the front, this giant band. You don't have a parking in our building, so that so much easier. And everyone would be able to continue to use valet service. Most of the owners had no idea where to work.
So in my 35 years, do you know how many times I got calls that fixed it? Yeah, there's guys doing work here, but now we have no place to park, right? Our valet has been taken over, so it's nice to know that a good situation where that hasn't happened.
This looks beautiful.
I've heard the opposite so many times.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks, Rob.
Yeah.
How about we go to the phones?
Let's do it. Let's go to Armando.
How are you,
Oh.
Armando?
We just answered your question.
Armando.
Good morning. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, sure. Where you calling from, Armando?
Okay. Yeah, I'm calling from Tavernier, Florida Keys.
Okay, how can we help?
Yeah, I know that you folks kind of answered my question that I put in the chat, but my secondary question now that I have the opportunity is there a number and email that is available to reach out to the top of that DVPR top brass to get resolutions on a long-standing complaint?
No, and I can't. I'm not going to give that out on the air. If you want, you can try to get in touch with the secretary. Herself. There's probably an email that's on the internet. You can try to do that. But I see that you have, if you Armando Annette, if you're asking, can you provide Mr. Fonseca's contact information? How about we put that out there? How can I get in touch with you?
That'll be
Best
wonderful.
Roofing.
954-941-9111.
One more time.
954-941-9111.
Okay, thanks. All right, how about we take another call?
Yeah,
Sorry. Yeah.
I'm also putting up the Best Roofing contact information. So if you pull
Thank
out
you.
your phones right now, you could scan the QR code and it'll take you to their contact page.
That's
Reach
great.
them.
And
Okay.
if a roof is done without a permit, did it actually happen?
That's fine.
And did it make a noise when it fell?
I love that question.
Did it actually happen?
Did it actually happen? Well, I can tell
You paid for it.
You put up a roof without a permit. I will tell you that, guess what? That roof can come down. You think you put it up, you didn't put up anything. It can come down.
Okay, so it didn't
Building
actually
official
happen.
can come out and say,
And the lady
rip it
put
up,
up a
and have somebody who, with who's licensed, make a permit apply for a permit for it and do it all over
So
again.
someone with a license can't come in and go, okay, this is okay.
Well, if that's an interesting question, if if someone puts a roof on without a license, right, without a permit, I should say, building official will come out and say, we just caught you. You didn't do it without a permit. Normally, they'll make you now get an engineer, I guess, come out and make sure the roof is right.
Yeah, you would do something called an after-the-fact inspection,
Okay.
or have a report come from an engineer. That usually comes up where, for example, you have plywood replacement,
Okay.
where you replace a certain percentage of the decking,
Right.
and it could impact whether to have a structural permit.
Right.
So you can have an after-the-fact engineer come in, verify through photos, through
Right.
The workmanship, the style of how we inform.
Okay.
But if you
inform
use a
the
guy
work.
that's not licensed,
Right.
that's a
Yeah,
problem.
I don't want to encourage people to do that. So
No.
the truth of the matter is, or you correct me if I'm wrong, let's say that engineer comes out and basically he cannot say everything was done right. Matter of fact, everything was done wrong. What's happening with that roof?
You're going to have some destructive work.
Right. Right. And if it rains while you're doing destructive work,
Oh.
right. That's happened so many times. Roofing companies over the years have not properly tarped the roof as they're working on it.
Oh.
You have no idea what that causes, right? I
Oh.
mean, disaster. Back to the phones.
All right, let's go to the next caller. I don't see the name, but you're live.
Hi, my name is Dee. I'm from Miami, and I live in a condo. Thank you for everything. And we have two giant towers, like 28 stories high, and a rec hall. So one of my questions is, we want best roofing, but at a Rolls-Royce price. Can we get like those foam type roofs? I don't know if those are good or not.
Yeah.
We have a lot of equipment on our roof, so I don't know if it holds the weight or you could walk up there. Or for example, if we want to put solar panels up there. And on top of our rec hall, we wanted to put a pickleball court. So I don't know if there's a special roof for that
Yeah.
as well. And
So
those are kind of my questions.
yeah, so I knew we were going to get a question like that. That people are turning on the TV and they're seeing magic. The roof is destroyed. It's 20 years old, and all you got to do is spray shaving cream on it, right? And all of a sudden, magic, you got another 20 years
So
on your
foam
roof,
is
right?
a sealant. Is it the same thing?
Something tells me,
Okay.
right? I'm no roofing expert, he is, but something tells me that that's not the same thing as putting a new roof on your top of your building. You tell me.
It's a good hunch.
It's like putting a mattress topper on a bad mattress, right? Yeah,
I love that.
exactly.
Right.
So I would say Yes, you're right there. The systems that cost a lot of money for a reason. And one of the stories I like to tell is I believe it's Fibertite, who they custom make the roofing system for every building.
Oh.
And from a quality perspective,
And that's what you use.
yes, those are one of the systems we use. And I believe they actually keep a piece of the custom made rolls for your building. So because now they're going to give you a 20-year warranty, NDL.
Right.
And so if some argument came up years down the line regarding the integrity or defective adhesive, they're going to go back to that patch that they kept, that sample, and do quality testing on it in case there was any litigation. That tells me that's a company who not only stands by their investment that they're putting on your roof, but they also want to ensure that if and when or something did come up, they're going to make it right. So what I would say is let us come take another look at it. There's a way to value engineer every roofing system around the needs and wants of the unit owners and the association, and we'll make sure we get to a place where we're both happy.
Got it.
Ooh, value engineer. I like that.
Fancy term. Back to the phones, Ralph.
All right, JJ,
Hello.
you are live.
JJ, how are you?
Mike, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
You're live, JJ.
Okay, my question has to do with we have like 39 buildings. They're all single story, but we are condos, and we have shingles that were put on six years or so ago, and we have very big oak trees over most of the buildings, and part of the roofs are black. We did budget like $40,000 in our budget for this year to do roof cleaning, but our president has decided we're going to save money and not spend that. And my question is, what is roof maintenance? How does that affect our ability on insurance? And I mean, we put the money in, it's like 300 and something a roof. It's dirt cheap.
Okay.
But
This
you
is
know, where
interesting.
can we go from here?
Someone sent me, this is a great question. Thank you, JJ. Someone sent me, it might have been you, Karen, I don't remember. There was an insurance company that flew drones over someone's house. I want to say maybe it was in Pennsylvania. And the drones showed that there were oak trees next to this house, and that if anyone ever toppled over in a storm, it's going to destroy the roof. Her insurance was canceled.
Oh, no.
Okay, so now she's calling in and saying we have 39 roofs on these buildings surrounded by oak trees. What do you suggest? I guess she's asking you, so that we don't have a catastrophe on our hands if we have a major hurricane.
Get some
Should
squirrels.
those
Get the acorns.
I mean, it's an interesting question.
Yeah, it
should
is.
there be a landscaping maintenance program and
Yeah, right.
that also
Cut the limbs.
prevents potential roof damage? Should it work hand in hand with each other? I think that's a great question.
It is. In fact, when we send out our forensic roof specialists, we don't just look at your roofs. We look at surrounding areas that can impact the performance of your roof.
Sure.
And with shingles, obviously you have the granules that are designed to protect the integrity of the underlayment, right?
Right.
So the ability to move water off of your roofing system. And once those granulars are deteriorated, now you're going to start impacting the underlayment. So it's really critical to look out for those oak trees. We make a recommendation for pruning, which we also handle in-house.
So that would be like an initial report?
Yes.
That and you guys can do it yourself?
Yeah.
We do it ourselves.
It's fantastic.
Not
That's
you
great.
personally, though.
No, you're not going to
the
catch
attorney
me.
doesn't do pruning. Thanks.
That's great.
Thanks, JJ. Appreciate it. Okay,
Here's a-
who else we got? I'm sorry.
Oh, here's
Go
a
ahead,
question
Karen.
with David Villano. He says, I understand the condos that the roofs are covered under Sears. Are there other new laws that affect condos? Like, do they have to be replaced every 15 years? Is there a law that says that?
No, there's nothing, no specific law of any kind that does that. It's, what your Sears report
Okay.
now says. You go by that. And just because it's in your Sears report that, let's say you put it out, you expect it to last 20 years, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to last the 20 years.
You need to have someone come out and say.
If you're not taking care of it,
Right.
that roof can go in 10.
Right.
All right, no question. How about go back to the phones?
Yep. Next caller is Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Good morning, Eric. Good morning, the lovely Karen, and good morning, Anthony.
Good morning, the lovely Bill.
This is this is Bill from Hollywood. It's a condo. I'm going to have to go to my secondary question because he kind of asked into the primary question just moments ago. I was going to inquire about pitched roof, asphalt shingles, instead of replacement, the product out there that is like a spray paint, you're epoxying it in order to deter replacement? And he kind of answered that. So I'm going to go to my second question.
Don't do it.
I had your guys out, and really great customer service, really polite, very intelligent, gave me great pricing, did great follow-up. But as it was alluded earlier, you guys are going to the teaching hospital and getting the best doctors out there, and you only get what you pay for.
Of course.
So my question is this. I was told that if we have to replace the decking during the roofing, that the termite people will come out and they will only spray the underside of the decking in the attic. The decking that you guys use, I see, is straight up plywood. Is there not any other type of chemical that you apply on the outside or both side, or a treated wood, because of the issue we have with termites in South Florida?
There's all different kinds of decks. It's not always wood. It can be metal, it can be concrete. So the wood is one form. And I can tell you that we do run into termite damage often, but it's not always driven by the plywood that's the roofing system is on top of. There's other contributing factors where termites migrate to. But now I can say, to answer your question, there are other deck systems that we can install if a deck replacement is requested or needed.
Got it.
But you
put hot
don't
sauce on
spray
the
a
wood
chemical from the exterior.
So obviously wood is more likely to suffer termite damage than other types of decks that you can put on.
Yes.
Okay. Especially in South Florida. Hope that answers your question, Bill.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a good show.
Thank you so much. Here's an interesting question.
Right.
Can your roofs cover 150 to 200 mile an hour hurricane winds? Is there any system out there that can really withstand like a Category 4, Category 5 type hurricane? Or is it just wishful thinking?
Oh, probably not a 5. I
Yeah.
don't think anything survives a 5.
So I would say, obviously, when you get to mechanically attached systems, those are
Yeah.
going to probably be your best chances of withstanding those high velocity winds.
Right.
But with Miami-Dade NOAs and the fastening patterns that we install here, I do think that the quality workmanship and craftsmanship is what you want to stand
Sure.
by. But yes, I would say the mechanically attached fastener, like metal decking, those
Right.
are going to be, or even on your flat roof systems, those are going to be your best bet.
To withstand a major storm.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually,
Got it.
Mexico Beach, wasn't there one home?
There was one home that was an amazing
So
picture.
they had maybe a really good roof system, because if
Right.
your roof goes, then the whole thing goes, right?
Yeah, it's a can,
That's the thing.
it's a can
It's
opener.
a can opener.
That's the can. That's a great way to
So
put it.
that one house did survive,
Back to the phone.
and it was a Cat 5. Michael.
Yep. Next caller is Thomas.
How are you, Thomas?
Oh, hang on.
Thomas.
How you doing, Anthony?
How you doing, Thomas?
I have a question. I live in an HOA. So I have a question about metal roofs, okay? Because where I live at, in Hopaloxo, they've decided to change the insurance company, the board. So now this new insurance company is telling us we need roofs. But our roofs are, when I bought the house, I have the paperwork. They're 26 gauge Galvalume metal roof with a 50-year life. Is there truth behind that, or is somebody just fabricating when they write this about a metal roof? They're 25 years old now.
There's a lot that goes into the warranty being honored. Now, generally speaking, metal roofs do have a propensity to last in that upward of north of 30 years, but there's a lot of maintenance and auxiliary type matters you have to pay attention to. How is it maintained? What are you doing on an annualized basis to ensure that penetration points are being honored? Are there any rusting that's occurring? So I don't know if it's a high trafficked area. Is there any construction going on, any maintenance going on? So there's a lot of different things you want to pay attention to. Are you close to the water? So I would say if all conditions are perfectly met, you can have that. You could probably have a 50-year type situation honored, but there's so many different things can impact that.
It's funny, a 50-year warranty, but it's only as good as the paper it's written on. If the company isn't there in 50 years, right, then what is your warranty
Right.
worth?
Well, they're not. The company that put it on, they're no longer in existence.
There you go.
Oh, there you go, right?
Okay. I looked them up.
So let me tell you what you can do with your
I had
warranty.
we had an inspection. We had an inspection done 3 years ago
because at that time, that's when there was issues with the insurance companies. So citizens picked us up. We had the 4-point inspection done. We had somebody come in, check the straps, the screws. We sent in the report to the insurance company that we had at the time. We never heard anything about new roofs until 2 months ago when the board decided to switch to another company. Beyond me, most people are on vacation in the summer, and they held a meeting with nobody there and decided on going this way. So that's why I'm just looking. I'm not looking to spend. You know, they told me I'm saving $1,000 a year, but it's going to cost me $31,000 for a new roof.
What'd you say first? Cheap can
So-
sometimes be expensive, right?
Yep.
That's the bottom line. So, talk about the ability to honor a warranty. How long has Best Roofing around?
1978.
78. So we're talking about 20 to almost
Hello.
50. It's going to be 50 years in 1978. In 2028.
Yep.
It's going to be 50 years.
That
Well, there
speaks
you go. They
volumes.
can actually honor a 50-year
That's right.
warranty. Right?
Someone wants to know if your roof can withstand 200 miles per hour.
That's what we were saying. Yeah, it's just pretty difficult to do that. Yeah.
Also-
Hey, I got one question for you. I'm going to take a shot at this, okay?
All right.
On live YouTube. Where in Brooklyn are you actually from?
Where am I actually from? Where am I living at now?
No, where are you from? Where
Or
where'd
where
you
I've
grow
been,
up?
or where I've been transplanted from?
Where you transplanted from?
A little town in the Northeast called Brooklyn.
There you go.
But where in
Right? Do I know my people or what?
But
Do I
where
know my
in
people?
Brooklyn, right?
Where in Brooklyn?
Red Hook, Brooklyn.
I know Red Hook. Let's just say when I worked in the Brooklyn DA's office, when I went to Red Hook, I didn't know if I was coming home at the end of the day.
Good God.
Right now, Red Hook is like the place to be. Hey, thanks for the call.
That's
Wow.
All right. Thank you for your help.
You got it. Be well. Who else we got, Rob?
All right, next caller is Steve.
How are you, Steve?
Hi, fine. Thank you for taking my question. You answered the first part regarding an 8-story tower flat roof with condenser filled. I appreciate that, but it didn't seem to be a complete answer. You've got basically a flat roof. We're fully funded. We're going to do everything that's required, but my question, I'm new to the board, so I'm trying to educate myself by listening to you guys. You mentioned a lot of penetration points because there's obviously condensers for all those apartments under 8 floors. What really are you doing? Are you resurfacing it? Because you're not replacing the concrete slab, I guess. What do you actually do on a flat roof that's got condensers? Are you just resealing it?
So what kind of flat roof system? Is it a membrane? Does it have gravel? So that's why it's not a one-size-fit-all answer.
Right. Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. And I have never been on the roof, so that's good. Now you're telling me where I have to do my homework.
Yeah. And what I would say is, here's what I would recommend. If I'm sitting in your shoes, because all the answers I like to give is through the lens as if I'm the homeowner. I would want to call out the experts. So I would call someone like Best Roofing, have their forensic roof specialist come out, or a trained professional walk the roof with you, because your needs may be very different than someone else's, and you can have that interactive dialogue to see what it is that your pain points are, so we can make sure we avoid those and proactively address it. So if you have multiple condensers on the roof, maybe we see something in the condensers that need to be replaced, and then we can optimize your roof system with our HVAC contractors that we use to support those replacements. And then all of a sudden we can have a new drainage calc system in place where we can rid water a certain way, where you have where you can mitigate the risk of all those penetration points. So what I would say is you would want to walk the roof with a professional, like someone from Best Roofing, answer those questions live, and then have us propose multiple options to discuss it with the decision makers, or in this case, a board.
Okay, great. Thanks for your help.
Yeah. Let's do this, guys. Let's take our final break of the hour. Again, taking your call, 717-452-9378, 717-452-9378. If you have a question for Anthony, don't wait for the last minute. Going into the last segment, we'll be back right after this.
Roomkiss Consultants offer the professional expertise to help condominium and cooperative communities provide safe, compliant buildings for their tenants. We have more than 170 Florida licensed engineers and architects who are experienced with local regulations and can assist with Senate Bill 4D compliance. We can help with milestone structural inspections, capital expenditure evaluations, structural integrity reserve studies, and developer transition reports. Focusing on energy, resilience, maintainability, and sustainability, our experts can help with every phase of the building life cycle. Contact us for inspections, building restoration, repair and remediation consulting, or mitigation after a catastrophic event.
All over the world, people have plumbing problems. These problems can be expensive and destructive to fix. Have you ever wondered if there was a way to take care of your plumbing problems without destruction and an outrageous price tag? Welcome to Pipelining Technologies, Inc., where we specialize in fixing your problems without demolition and minimum cutting by means of pipelining. Pipelining is the ability to take a pipe damaged by root intrusion or long-term deterioration and make it new. By means of inserting an epoxy-saturated liner into the pipe and allowing it to harden or cure, leaving behind a brand new pipe.
That sounds great. How can I get pipelining in my home, commercial building, or condominium?
Simply fill out our online contact form and a pipelining representative will get in touch with you in a timely fashion, or call us directly at 561-853-5463.
Welcome back to the final segment of Condo Craze and HOAs, and we are so happy to have our special diamond sponsor guest. He's the attorney and also the Chief Administrative Officer of Best Roofing. And roofing right now is the most important thing with a possible hurricane brewing off the coast of Africa. Could be Gabrielle.
Hot topic. Anthony, let me get back to you a second. Obviously roof projects are expensive, and what tips can you give board members and managers when approaching, kind of a roof replacement contract?
It's like anything else in life, even your car or your human body, maintain it.
Maintain it.
You got to
yeah.
maintain it.
So how do they maintain it? What do they do to maintain longevity?
So if you have a roofing system and Best Roofing performed it, what we often do is we throw in complimentary workmanship warranties, but also maintenance agreements. So what we do is we walk the roof each year, and we try to look to see any debris, any puncture points. Sometimes other people are on your roof, and they could be walking up there. They could have a nail or a screw in their sneaker, and they puncture the roof. We go and seal it. We also check for caulking, because your caulking is going to deteriorate. So we'll recaulk certain flashing points.
Yeah. So someone who wrote in and asked, "Hey, what's really the definition of flashing?"
It's to prevent water from intrusion into your structure.
Any space where there might water get in, that's considered like a flashing point?
Yes.
Okay, so that's an important thing, obviously, is to make sure you correct any flashing problems, because if you don't, water's getting in.
Critically important.
Okay. Let me talk to you about the fact that, I know you said it it goes in the Sears report, and oftentimes things just become totally inexpensive, and even though the association wants to make repairs and replacements, sometimes they just can't afford to do it. You have finance programs, I understand, that will help associations do it. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so obviously the access to capital is critically important, and no one wakes up in the morning saying, I want to have a roof replacement today. It's a need-based decision. So if water is actually coming into your building, your home, you need it replaced today.
Yes.
You may not have the capital to do it. So a couple different things going with Best Roofing offers. Number one, because of being in business since 1978, we have strategic partners who stand behind the Best brand and offer lending to our association partners.
Great.
So those are Bank United's, Popular Bank, it's Association Lending Services. They stand by us. If we say we're going to work with this association, they may have deficiencies in some of their financing, I'll call it, maybe higher delinquency reports than traditional lenders would approve.
Yes.
But because they're standing by the Best flag, they're more likely to push those through and help our clients.
So you might be able to get a loan for an association where they normally can't get a loan.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you, normally, like you said, because of delinquency problems, read an article yesterday that says foreclosures are up 12% above, and they used August of 2025 as the point. 2025 is up 12% over August 2024. That's a phenomenal
That is
amount of
more- yeah,
foreclosures
yeah.
that we're talking about. So yeah, if you can help associations get a loan where ordinarily they wouldn't be able to get a loan. That is a tremendous plus for our listeners. I mean, tremendous. What I didn't know, not only can you, get them loans, but you're not just relegated to the South Florida area. I just learned that you guys are doing projects all over the state.
Yeah, we are. We're obviously we proudly serve the Tri-County area since 1978, Broward, Palm Beach, and Dade County. But our clients' needs go beyond South Florida, and now we're proudly serving the entire state.
That's fantastic. That's great. Wow. Because I didn't know that until just this morning, and when I heard it, I'm like, wow. I've told many associations, yeah, I wish I could recommend Best Roofing. Well, now I actually can. That's great.
So, because we have people watching all over the state, this 954 number, do you have an 800 number?
You can call in and get that access directly. We do have
Okay.
a 188 number that I can follow up with.
Okay, no
Yeah, I'm
problem.
sure Rob, you put up
It's up on the screen.
It's up
Okay,
on the
there you go.
screen. Okay,
Boom.
so the contact information is there. So in the meantime, why don't we go back to the phones?
Yes. Next caller is Helen.
How are you, Helen?
Hi, Helen.
Helen, you there? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm here.
Helen,
Oh,
how
there
are
she
you?
is.
Yes, hi. Eric, first I want to say thank you for the service you provide, and I think all board members should have obligatory watching of this show
Thank you
in
so
order
much.
to learn their job.
I appreciate that very much.
Let's get a new law.
I have a two-part question tying into what Armando brought up earlier regarding terraces that are roofed. So we have in my condo a situation where it's sort of a terrace roof, it's flat, and 4 of the penthouses extend below a couple levels as part of that terracing that is considered roof, but they're essentially extended balconies. They're 1,200 square feet, so they're huge. Now, two things here. So first, in an effort to mitigate leaks that were up there, there was an epoxy quartz finish that was placed on that flooring, basically, of those terraces, which from my research turns out to not really be a roofing type material. So not surprisingly, it's leaking. So part 2 of this is now that these unit owners, because they're limited common areas, have done their own modifications to these terraces, put in planters and put in their own flooring, like a wood deck covering, whatever, in this case, the epoxy quartz finish flooring, in addition to all the other stuff they put on their terrace. Those personal modifications now apparently are going to be paid for by the association, removed and replaced once that roof terrace flooring is fixed again. Is that proper, or shouldn't that modification be paid by the unit owner?
Again, it's difficult to answer some of these questions without actually seeing who's responsible for what. Now, it's funny. So the way I understand the question, I'm going to deviate from your question a little bit, Helen, okay, if you don't mind. Because I think even though I might not be able to answer your question without looking at the documents, I think you raise a very interesting point. So here we have a balcony that is in effect has a floor, but the floor is actually the roof of other units. So
correct.
Is there a difference in putting down a material that acts as a floor, right? Or should you put down a material that acts as a roof? You follow what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah,
You're right.
epoxy quartz.
There's certain materials that, yes, you put it down on top of your floor to prevent your floor from suffering damage. Is that good enough to prevent it? Or is it good enough to act as a roof just because the material acts as a floor? If you follow what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do. And it sounds to me, now correct me if I'm wrong, it's a traditional balcony where they go level over level over level, and then maybe it's a concrete deck. And what it sounds like to me is you have more of a waterproofing than you do of a roof system.
Right, exactly.
Where it's not designed to necessarily shed water, it's just designed to prevent water from hitting my head while I stand below you.
Right, exactly. It's a great answer. That's exactly why I asked the question that way. Thank you, Helen. I really appreciate it. Okay, who else we got?
All right. Next caller is Donata.
Donata.
Boy, she
Long
was
time.
the queen 2 weeks
Hi,
ago.
Eric.
Time
Good
listener. How are you,
morning, good
Donata?
morning
Hey,
to all of you
Donata. Donata, let me tell you
my
something. Wait, Donata, hold on. You
Yeah.
called in a couple of weeks
Yeah.
ago and you made a suggestion
Yeah.
that anytime the association gets sued, the unit owners should have the right away. The unit owners should be told about the lawsuit. Well, Robert took your phone call and he put it all over the internet, and you went viral, young lady. And people were writing in like crazy that said, absolutely, anytime the association gets sued, people have a right to know. So you're famous. If that law
And
comes
brilliant.
out, we're going to call it the Donato law, okay?
And brilliant.
How can we help?
Okay, my question is, this new law that's gonna enter as of roof, that if a unit owner of a homeowners association wants a metal roof,
Yes.
what about condo, but townhouse condos? What if the owner of a townhouse condo wants a metal roof? How would that work?
Okay, so the same, it's interesting because the statute, it's a great question. Donata's on the ball, let me tell you. There's a couple of ways to answer that question. Number one, just because you live in a townhouse condo doesn't mean that whoever's living in there has the obligation or authority to change that roof. It still may be the condo's responsibility. I don't know. But even if you have to look at the documents. But even assuming that the unit owner has the right to put on to fix the roof, has the obligation to fix the roof, the new statute that came out only applies to HOAs. I mean, sure, the intention was that it should apply to single family stories, stuff like that, but that's not what the new law says. It only applies to HOAs. So if you live in a condo and it's a townhome and you want to put your metal roof on it, there is absolutely nothing in the law that would allow you to put on that metal roof. Only HOA owners at the moment. Okay? So I hope that answers your question,
thank you,
Donata.
Eric.
Thank
Thanks
you
a
so much.
lot.
Thanks
Yeah,
for being a loyal
answered.
listener.
Yeah.
Who else we got, Rob?
All right. Next caller, maybe it's Mary. I'm not seeing the name.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, how are
That's
you?
not Mary.
That's not Mary. Yeah, who's
Oh,
this?
This is Jim.
Jim.
Jim. Okay, Jim. How can we help?
Well, I'm a unit owner in a condo, about a 12-story condo near the beach, and our roof is maybe 6 or 7 years old, with warranties, and every year we pay for an inspection to continue the warranty. The roof required, the sand gravel covering over it, as I understand, for ultraviolet protection against the premature deterioration of the roof. But the wind has removed, a considerable amount, I don't know, 40%, whatever, of the sand. And my question is, who's responsible? Should that be covered under the manufacturer warranty, the contractor warranty, or is that part of our maintenance to know how much sand to put back on there, or how critical is the sand, and who's responsible for that sand and maintenance?
I can take that one. So
Yeah, sure.
depends on the manufacturer and the system, because it's going to call for different depths. And in there, I don't know whether the first couple of years, sometimes the contractor agrees to maintain the replacement of any wind-driven deterioration, or the manufacturer does as well. Sometimes you just have to make a warranty request into the manufacturer, and then it's honored, and then they supply sometimes the material, and then they pay the contractor for the labor. So it really is driven by the warranties you have in place.
It's the paper. What did you sign for? What did you agree to? Right.
That's it.
Got it?
Well, yeah.
I mean, is
And we've
the installer supposed to replace
Installer.
that gravel? Are they supposed to replace the sand, or is it something that the condo should be doing?
I can tell you when we do it,
Yeah.
it's usually covered by the manufacturer because it's part of the plan that they have.
Right.
That's written for the first couple of years. If it gets beyond a written agreement that we had in place with the client, then we bill it on like a time and materials basis, where we'll go out and we'll get the material, and then we'll bill just for the installation or laying of it. But it really, like we just discussed here, it's driven by what was agreed to specifically for that installation.
Hey, thanks for the
Yeah,
call,
it's
Jim.
just
Now I know why he has to
It's a
be an
manu-
attorney as
Yes,
well.
yeah.
So it doesn't
Because there's a lot of this
specify
stuff.
how many.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. So you answered a lot of tough questions. I'm going to throw you a softball one. I think you're entitled to it at this point. But Best Roofing's been trusted for so many years by so many communities. Why do you think?
A lot of reasons, but I think it really boils down to this. You don't get measured as a contractor for doing great work when everything goes right, in my
Right.
opinion. I think the true testament to a contractor is how you're measured when things don't go right. And I think being in business since 1978, I'm not going to tell you that every single project that we perform went well.
Of course.
But staying in business, it stands that we stand by all of our projects.
Sure.
So we have a saying that we'll do projects for a profit, but if we have to, we'll do it for a loss if that means making it right for the client.
That's
and
great.
and that's the ultimate thing that
Right.
Best Roofing stands for.
And you make us look good, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to thank you.
Thank
you. did great today, right?
Yeah. A pro.
Yeah, a pro, right? Under pressure, under the lights.
Oh, yeah.
He answered all of these questions without a hitch.
No,
and,
you're beautiful. Thank you.
I really want to thank you for being here. And I really want to thank Best Roofing for being such a wonderful, incredible sponsor of the show. I told Anthony, we're doing now seminars all over the state. First thing that came out of his mouth is, I want to sponsor them.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I mean,
Thank you.
they let me tell you, because Best Roofing always, always, always wanted to work with me, wanted to spread education throughout the community. I think they understand how important it is. And for that, I am thankful and honored to be working with you guys. I really am. You did great today, Counselor.
Thank you. Thank you for the
Okay.
opportunity.
All right. That brings us to the end of another show on Condo Craze and HOAs. Hope you enjoyed the show. Rob, I know you got the information up.
Yeah,
regarding
888.
Best Roofing and how you can contact them.
Yeah.
And of course, if you need our law firm off the air, give Glazer and Sachs a call, 954-983-1112, 954-983-1112. Again, thanks to Best Roofing. And we'll see you and speak to you again next Sunday at 11 a.m. on Condo Craze and HOAs. Everybody have a wonderful, safe week.
Thank you.